In this lesson, we're going to look at the difference between public and private. Public means there's accessible from anywhere outside the class, but private means it's not accessible from anywhere out of the class. Now, when you make something public, if you want other classes to access it, and you make something private if there's no good reason to allow others to access it. So you got to think about it. If there's no reason someone needs to access it, it should be private. Now, instance variables, also known as fields, should be private, even if it's a constant. So let's look at some instance variables fields, public int x and private int y. Now, since this is public, that means anyone has access to it. This one's private, thus it only can be accessible. I'm inside of this class here. I can't access it anyplace else. So we do a constructor, public versus private. We just initialize both x and y. Then we got some methods here. This method, public int do public, can be called from anywhere. And it doesn't really do anything fancy. It just returns x plus y. Now this method, private int do private, is private. Thus, it can only called while I'm inside this class. And again, it doesn't do anything fancy. It just returns x minus y. Now this method, do public to private, it is public, thus anyone can call it, and it calls our private method. And that's fine because I'm within the class. So I can call my private method, do private, within this class. Now let's look at our client class and let's see what's going on there. So inside of our client class, we construct a public versus private object. I'm setting it 510. We print out the field. Now notice I can have direct access to the field because we made x public. Now this one, I can't. I cannot access y because it was made private. And there it goes. I try to compile it and it gives me an error. Let's comment that one back out. Now since x is public, we can change it anywhere. So I can change x here. And that is really dangerous. You do not want anything outside of your class to have the ability to just directly change your values of your fields. Now we can call our do public method. We can't call our do private method because it's, well, private. We can't access it, so that gives me an error. And then I can call our do public method to private, which was public as well. So let's go ahead and let's compile this and run it, and let's see what we get. And there you go. You can see I can directly change the value of x. And there's my do public and do private methods. And that is the end of this lesson.